a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
Right, Carter, give me the mic. So I'd been to the Louvre once before on holiday, but I hadn't been chased by vicious fruit bats. I would have been terrified, except I was too busy being angry with Carter. I couldn't believe the way he'd treated my bird problem. Honestly, I thought I would be a kite forever, suffocating inside a little feathery prison, and he had the nerve to make fun. I promised myself I'd get revenge, but for the time being we had enough worries staying alive. We raced along in the cold rain. It was all I could do to avoid slipping on the slick pavements. I glanced back and saw two figures chasing us, men with shaved heads and goatees and black raincoats. They might have passed for normal mortals, except they each carried a glowing staff. Not a good sign. The bats were literally at our heels. One nipped my leg, another buzzed my hair. I had to force myself to keep running. My stomach still felt queasy from eating one of the little pests when I was a kite. And no, that had not been my idea. Totally a defensive instinct.
Hey, demigods! Or, I guess, Egyptian magicians now? Whatever. It's Charlie here with a special announcement. This episode marks our mid-season break. After this, we're actually going to be, not covering the book for like 2 weeks. We'll be releasing some bonus feed episodes to our main feed. And then we will be coming back with the next chapter on, let me see the schedule, January 2nd, we'll be back. So, in the meantime, listen to this episode, listen to the backlog, listen to the bonus episodes, y'all. We love our bonus. Alright, bye. Listen to the episode now. Welcome to LDL Discuss, where we discuss Rick Riordan's role as our godly parent.
Hi, I'm Raye, following the path of Gib.
And I'm Charlie, following the path of Bast. And we're here for, what chapter is this? A Picnic in the Sky. They sure do that.
They do, well, pedantic sky is, an exaggeration. Also, it's kind of a forgettable chapter title, but it's fine.
What would you rather? What would you rather have it be instead?
We see the president's house. I don't know.
I feel like that's also just a lie, though.
I mean, they do, though. It's right there.
We teleport to America.
I mean, they do that, but...
like, that lives in my head, like, rent-free, is just, like... Not often do book quotes live in my head the same way that TV quotes do, but, like, when Ice is just like, so where do you want to go? Sadie's like, I don't know, America. Like, that. Just in my head.
I see.
Here you go, generic America. DC. Which isn't even
that is deeply funny. God. Well, we're already on it. Want to just get into it?
Yeah, we have. I mean, unless you want to go talk about Batman again, we can do that. We were doing that before.
You can't offer that to me. I know you're joking, and I will. Okay, you can't. That's an attack on me personally.
You're welcome.
Okay, so Bruce Wayne is really interested in Robert Pattinson's Batman version. Like, they actually do something with his character, I feel like. Okay, A Picnic in the Sky.
Oh my god.
It turns out that we didn't actually have to go inside the Louvre to teleport. The glass pyramid out front is a perfectly good monument of power. We do that. Sadie tells Isis to send them to America, and does not bother to specify any further than that, meaning that they end up in the most American place possible, inside the Washington Monument. The president's house is right outside. Now, they need to get to Arizona, and unfortunately, they can't even read the dang spellbook they grabbed, so they're just like, let's take a fucking nap. Bast, she summons up some sandwiches and some Friskies so everybody can have a nice snack before bed. They really need some tomato soup, is all that I'm saying. Bast is being really cagey about what exactly the deal was with their mom and Cleopatra's Needle, what else is new. Carter and Sadie have an actual conversation with each other and get in some sibling bonding. You love to see it.
We do. We really do.
And we go to sleep. So that's it.
Yay. Sleep. Without the headrests.
I'm sure that won't, cause any mishaps in the future.
Is this the first sleep we've had not in a bed? I think
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only been a couple days.
Yeah.
Yeah. We went to sleep at Amos's house. We went to sleep in the fucking first gnome. And now we're in the Washington Monument. I think those are the only... I think this is the third day. Dawn of the third day.
Alright, come on in here. Get in here. Come on. Get in.
Hi, Orzo!
Do you want your blanket?
There's gonna be a lot of options for outtakes on this one. we got Batman, we got cat shenanigans.
You want your blanket? No. Okay, he's over it. I took his blanket off the floor to clean the other day, and now he does not want it anymore.
What? Maybe it
was
like
my blanket to begin with.
Detergents.
That I put on the floor. Oh well.
Poor boy.
Yeah. Chapter. But you know what we did before the chapter? Because I didn't get to talk about it last time. I got some more stuff for you.
Yay!
Little treat.
Tasty.
So in case you missed it, let's talk about Isis. No, not that one, but the good one.
Dang.
The thing at the top of the Wikipedia does in fact say, "Hey, this is the goddess," not the other thing. So
damn.
It's
I see how it is.
It hurts my soul because she's like the goddess of this religion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if there was a most important one, I think it would be her. So
yeah,
that tells you anything. Like, she even ends up in Greek stories at some points.
Right.
That's how cool she is. The Greeks were just like, oh no, we're not gonna like change her into like be like, oh, that's actually one of our goddesses by a different name. It's like, no, we're just gonna take her because she's so fucking cool. So
good for her.
Good for Isis. Good for her. Yeah. So do we even have like a title? Does she have a title here necessarily? It just says major goddess. I'm not even seeing what she's the goddess of on here. That's how you know she's fucking cool. She's just the goddess.
The goat.
The goat. The original, I might say. Okay. Do we got anything about her name? Because we're not seeing, like, different versions of it exactly.
Okay, so, yeah, I found it. It's the second paragraph under name and origins. It was originally, like, Rusat, and then the pronunciation kind of morphed until it got to, like, Ese, and then you get Isis from there.
And there's Wusa in there too. Yeah, so Isis is technically Greek in origin, like that version of the name.
Okay.
I would assume from this, because like there's the original Egyptian would be like the Rusat, and then it just kept morphing with the languages. Is what it seems like here, maybe?
It just says pronunciation changed here, so, you know, it could be other influences, but it also just might be time.
Yeah, exactly. So she's got some stuff going on there. Don't know what her name means, as far as I can tell. Ooh, let's see. Here's roles specifically. So let's see all the titles. There's the wife and mourner, the mother goddess, goddess of kingship, protection of the kingdom, goddess of magic and wisdom, sky goddess, universal goddess. So many things.
Damn.
Do you think she's important? What do you think?
You know, maybe.
Oh god, of course she became conflated with the Virgin Mary. Oh god.
The intro said that that's controversial, but yeah.
I mean, like, that's there's still like a whole paragraph here of like it ended the rise of Christianity, but it also may have influenced stuff about Mary. Unclear. But I mean, you know, mother who has a son who's like some kind of savior in a way and is important and fights, evil guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all the same shit. There is no original story. Let's be honest here. Yeah, okay. So I guess in the New Kingdom, she took on some stuff that belonged to Hathor, we already talked about. Which is why, okay, sometimes she looks like Hathor too, like with the sun disk and the horns of the cow. But in the iconography they chose here, she's got a different scepter, I think, than everybody else. She's still got the Ankh, and then she's got like a specific headdress that looks like a chair.
Are you talking about?
Before, but I don't remember what it means. It probably means like queen or something, or royalty.
Are you talking about the one that's like the 2 spikes with the ball in the middle? Or are you talking about the other one that's like gold?
I'm talking about the picture at the top of the page.
Oh, okay. Well, I was looking at a different picture that had 2 other hats, so...
There's gonna be so many hats.
It's a lot of hats. Okay. Yeah. Huh. It's the same color as her hair, so it's like...
Yeah.
It's like her hair just does that. It's kind of Tetris block-esque.
Yeah, it is. But like the thing that you think is her hair is like the specific headdress that they all usually wear too.
Yeah, true.
But the other crowns you were talking about are the ones that I was saying with that Hathor has too. Like they have the like the circle that's supposed to be like the sun, and then like the bull horns. That's supposed to be Hathor's like thing specifically.
I remember that being described in the book at some point. I don't remember what it was in reference to, but I remember there being a circle inside some things.
Yeah, God, we could get into the circle itself at some point. That becomes a god for some reason. That one fucking pharaoh was like, hey, the sun disk, that's my new god.
You know what? Leave your mark. Make some OCs. That's fine.
I think that was fucking Akhenaten, King Tut's dad or something. Yeah, that fucking guy. Okay, so Isis, obviously she's got a role in the whole Osiris, Set, Horus, sometimes Nephthys thing, She mourns her husband, and she has to, like, literally create a mummy in some ways. Like literally this is describing that this whole thing that she does to, like, put him back together is kind of, like, creating a mummy.
That makes a ton of sense. He's, like, the OG.
Yeah, the original undead god. Oh, she restores breath and life to his body, and then she fucks him. We already talked about them fucking.
Yeah.
After he came back.
Yeah.
Fun times. So, like, that's why she has, like, stuff going on with the afterlife. Her husband is literally, like, the god of the dead and all that shit. And she has to bring him back to life. So, yeah, there's a lot of, like, I've definitely mentioned this before, where, like, a lot of minor goddesses are said to be like, oh, that's probably just a form of Isis. Oh, that's probably just a form of Isis. Like,
right.
Because, like, everything is under her domain. So, like, this is saying, like, her, also Hathor, takes the form of, like, this other goddess who welcomes the deceased into the afterlife. Again, it's like, Isis, can you figure out your own shit and not steal everybody else's job? Like, I know you're so fucking cool, but we can have some more niche goddesses do some of the other work too. Of course, she's a mother goddess.
So looking at them talking about her as the universal goddess, it's like they're like, she is femininity. She is the goddess. We only need one because her personality is woman. And I mean, there's some ways in which you could find that empowering, and there's some ways in which I'm like, oh my god, women can be more than one thing. There can be more than one woman in the world and in your godly pantheon, so jot that down.
Yeah, that's why I like to be like, okay, no, all those other different goddesses are their own thing. Let's go back to separating them just a little bit. Like,
yeah, you're diluting the character.
Let me find, like, my favorite story about her. Where's my favorite one? Oh, this is also pretty cool, where, so, like, There's like a lot of stuff going on with her, like protecting the king and everything. She's the mother, she's also the wife of the king, you know, for the fact that she's the role of every woman at once.
Yeah, maiden, mother, crone. Yeah.
All at once. I don't know if you could ever consider Isis to be the crone, though.
Yeah.
I think she'd just be the maiden and the mother, maybe. But literally, like, there's iconography of, like, the king nursing at Isis's breast. Like, the fact that she's the one who gives them the right to rule, apparently. Which is, like, you know, again, there's like conflicting ideals of her, where it's like, okay, only woman, but also, like, she's giving the man the power. So, Isis, figure out your feminism, please. Just figure it out. Just a little bit. But, I mean, she's got a lot of, like, queen stuff going on. She has protective magical power against enemies. I love that links to its own page. But, okay. But the coolest thing about her, she is the goddess of magic. We love a goddess that her thing is specifically magic.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking like Hecate, oh, she's like the goddess of witchcraft. We haven't even gotten to Hecate and all of that shit. But, you know, Isis, how does magic work so far in the King Chronicles, right? What is the basis for magic, as we have learned?
Words and symbols and icons.
Yes, you got it right. You're so good at this.
Wow, thank you.
So, I mean, I will say that some of this is a little bit like, women's wrongs, but also I support women's wrongs, so leave me alone. So, what does she do? Isis creates this magic snake. From what I've heard, it's specifically, like, made from some of Ra's essence, and then she has it bite Ra.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
as you do.
Like he doesn't know that it was her. It bites him, and it makes him, you know, ill with its venom. But also, it's like it's a piece of him and whatever. Like, so that makes it even worse. So she's like, but I can heal you. I'm the only one who knows how to heal you. I have this idea. Tell me your secret name. And because of this, Ra tells her the name. And she does this. She heals him, and then she gets to be so freaking powerful because of this. This is basically part of why Ra ends up leaving. Sorry, Isis. Why'd you do that? Why'd you make him leave? So that her husband could gain power, actually.
Okay.
She did it for the good of her own family, okay? I support her. This is one of those, is she kind of evil? Yes, but also I love her for it. So
valid.
I just like how she does this. But I feel like that is one of the stories that's a bit more about her. Even though, yeah, it's still all in relation to the men, but it is a little bit more about her and, like, her goals in life. Okay, there's a little bit about the Sky Goddess. This is also linking her to Artemis.
Weird. Because
she's the protector of Ra. That means she's related to the moon. Okay, sure. I don't know, man. Alright, do we get something about the iconography? Tell me about her headdress. I want to know about it. Okay. It is supposed to be a throne.
Oh, okay. Because she's the power behind the throne.
She's the queen. She's the power behind the throne. I cannot speak today. Having such problems. Ooh, and she has other animal forms. I mean, obviously there's the kite, which she also usually has the wings.
I do love the wings.
The wings are so good. They're so pretty. They're so cool. I love them. But sometimes she's, I guess, a sow, or a cow, or a scorpion. Fucking hell. Please get away from the scorpions. I would like to leave them behind. Thank you.
Sorry, man. The scorpions. They're everywhere.
Apparently. So the New Kingdom is when we get the links between Isis and Hathor, where she starts wearing, like, the same headdress. And then there's also another headdress that Isis sometimes has, where it's like a vulture-shaped crown with like a little snake thingy on the forehead, or like, yeah, it says a Urius or a cobra. Is a very
Okay.
cool
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
I love that crown too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I just like these things. Lot about her and more things. Okay, where's the... I don't know if it's going to be on here. But the other myth that I love about her is the one that's actually just a freaking Greek myth that she ends up being the goddess of. And guess what? It's a queer one. It's a queer story.
Yay!
Let me see if I can... Oh, I have to remember people's names for this one. Excuse me. Oh, that's one. That's it. Yes. Okay, so it's the tale of Iphis. It's from Ovid. Ovid's Metamorphoses. So can you tell what might happen in this story?
Some changing, perhaps?
Yeah, perhaps. It's... Most of those stories don't end up like having the gods do good transformations, but this is one of the only ones that does seem to have a good one.
Oh.
Yeah. So this girl Iphis is born to a dad who really wanted a son because they can't afford like a dowry if they have a daughter. And so the dad's like, okay, if we have a girl, kill it.
No.
And the mom's like, no, we're not gonna do that. I had a girl. What am I gonna do? Raise it as a boy. It's fine. Everything is fine.
Right.
Don't worry about it. I didn't even realize there was like this whole thing in the middle here where the mom is literally like visited by a bunch of the Egyptian gods and all of this that tell her to keep the child specifically. I love that. Very cool. Also, apparently her name Iphis is gender neutral.
Nice.
Good job. I love it. So Iphis raises a boy, is then arranged to marry Ianthe. And you know what? They fall in love. They're in love with each other. And then Iphis is told or finds out that she is not actually a dude. And that, oh no, I couldn't do this to poor Ianthe. No.
Oh.
She has to marry a man. Whatever will I do?
Uh-huh.
Praise to the gods. Isis turns her into a guy. And then they can live happily ever after.
Okay. Do we consider... Okay.
Is it a lesbian story? Is it a trans guy story? Either way, this is
no, it's thing. Not either. Because what's the name? Iphis?
Yeah.
Iphis is assigned male at birth.
True.
Iphis just got gender-affirming care in order to continue to be masculine in a way that he had always accepted himself to be. You know? It could almost be an intersex kind of story. I don't know. It's not really that either, but
I love this story and I think it's like so intensely queer. Like, I mean, everything about it. But yeah, it's so cool because Isis is the goddess who does that thing. She's the one who transforms Iphis into a guy.
We love that.
Good job.
We love when people get free gender affirming care.
And that's the last thing I will say about Isis, other than, you know, she's the most important goddess. What else is there that I can say about describing her?
Pretty radical.
Exactly. And now, a picnic in the sky. We're still being attacked by fruit bats.
Yeah, these fruit bats are a fucking problem.
And Sadie apparently ate one while she was a kite.
Oh, yeah. Sadie is also really pissed at Carter for, you know, making fun of her while she was trapped in a kite body. And I, as an Animorphs reader, I'm like, yeah, that's deeply traumatic. He needed to support her better.
She could have been stuck as a bird forever, Carter. Come on.
She could have had to move to the forest and eat rodents just like Tobias. So maybe you should have thought about that.
Horrible. Awful. Can't believe it. But hey, we go to the Louvre, and okay, I think this is like the first time we've had confirmation that it doesn't have to be an ancient Egyptian thing for us to use its magic. Like this is, I feel like this chapter is where we could get like the whole Western civilization bullshit, but instead Rick is like, I'm gonna hold my tongue on that part and just be like, it's symbols of power, okay?
Well, this is kind of the opposite of that if you think about it. It's like this thing that is ancient is still powerful because of what it is. It's not like I don't know. I guess it is. It's the same concept, but he came at it from a different angle this time that I don't hate as much. Yeah.
It's not like, hey, the Egyptians moved and their influence and yada yada yada. It's like, no, they chose like these specific symbols, and because of what they symbolize, that's why they're powerful.
So, they just left Luxor recently.
Yeah.
So I don't remember this, but now knowing that it can just be any pyramid, and knowing that we are trying to get Arizona, there's no way that the Luxor in Vegas does not come up in this series at some point. The fucking giant-ass pyramid. The hotel in Vegas. Charlie's trying to remember.
No recollection.
Me neither, but like there's no way it doesn't though, because it'd be funny. And it's in Arizona.
I have no recollection if they go to Vegas. They should. They should.
They've
they should
got
be like,
to,
wow,
right?
Look at that weird hotel over there with the lotus on it. Damn. I'm glad you thought of that, because I would not have thought of that at all.
There's literally a pyramid right there.
Yeah, there is.
They could have been in Vegas right now if Sadie had thought about it.
Sadie, why didn't you think about it? Come on.
Okay, so going back to where we're actually at.
Yeah.
They see the glass pyramid outside the Louvre. If you've never seen it, it's just out there. I've seen a lot of pictures of the Louvre. I don't know what the deal is though. Like, is that just like sitting there?
It's art.
Yeah, it's pretty
cool. I'm not gonna lie. This whole time, I've just been thinking, like that they've been in Paris. I just keep thinking about Miraculous Ladybug. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. That's so valid, actually.
I should have mentioned that to Elliot. I should have been like, hey, so Miraculous Ladybug?
Yeah.
But, like, I'm just thinking of, like, these are all, like, the places they went and they battled bad guys. Also, there's definitely at least the one Egyptian bad guy that existed. You remember that episode.
Wait, we have to do that episode on the bonus show. Is that on our list? Okay, good.
I'm pretty sure I put it on the list. Listen, we still have to get through all of Moon Knight. We've gotten through, like, 2 episodes.
I know.
It's only 4 more. Alright, so we have to summon this portal right now, and...
Yeah, Sadie can't, like, take a long time, just like last time. They are being chased by bats.
Yeah, horrible, awful bats. Also, as we find out, some dudes who, like, look like they could be normal guys, but, like, they're holding staffs. So, probably not great.
Carter lost his sword. He left it in Luxor. So, he's just boomeranging his wand. It says he hits 8 bats at a time, and then it, like, swings back. He's literally doing, like, cartoon boomerang physics. It's great.
Moon Tiara magic. There you go. He did it. Carter is Sailor Moon now.
Good.
And then we get the, where do you wish to go? God, I don't care. America? What I forgot about this scene is that Sadie was just crying because she's, like, overwhelmed emotionally.
My girl is fucking stressed. Oh, yeah, and she's crying and she's thinking, where do I want to go? I want to go home, but I can't. I can't go home to my flat in London. I was fucking deported. And also, we're busy.
Yeah, we're kind of busy trying to save the world and some shit. Yeah, so we make a portal, but it's at the top of the fucking pyramid. We can't climb up there. This is glass.
Yeah, it's sheer glass.
That shit.
Yeah.
And then Bast picks up Carter It just
Sorry, but
tosses him.
yeet.
Oh god, she literally eats him up there. I can't believe it. And then, before Sadie can be thrown up there, we gotta talk to magician guys and how mad they are at Bast for abandoning her post, endangering us all.
Dun dun dun.
Bast, what?
And Sadie is just like standing there listening to this guy because he's like, he seems pretty convinced. I like believe him. He's very earnest at this moment in time. But and Bast looks real upset also. But she's like, we don't have time. Get in the portal. Get
Sadie,
yeeted.
this man wants to kill you. Like,
I mean that also.
like, we don't have time for you to chit-chat with this guy about your goddess. He wants to kill you, and he will also kill your goddess bestie. So, let's get the fuck out.
She's just a kitty. Leave her alone.
Yeah, don't hurt my kitty. God, if Orzo would be so lucky to have Bast inside of him, as possessing him.
Imagine Orzo and Bast in one, the most powerful being.
Would that make Bast dumber or Orzo smarter? It's the real question. My cat is just above orange cat intelligence.
Oh yeah.
Alright, so, we're going to America. We're getting the fuck out. And Sadie passed out for a few hours. It's fine. She had to do some portals. She had to do 2 portals in one day. That's a lot of portals. And she got stuck as a bird.
Yeah. She's had a very rough and long day. And used a shit ton of magics.
She needs a break. She needs a grilled cheese. So where did we end up? We ended up in Washington, D.C. The Washington Monument.
Amazing. Love that.
I do.
This
love
is the
that
book
for
that
them.
taught me, like, what an obelisk is. You know?
Yeah.
Why there's a big pointy stick in Washington, D.C.
Yeah. There's a big pointy stick there. And now they're just chilling there because everybody's gone for the day.
Yeah. It's closed. So they're just hanging out at the top of this thing.
Yeah.
And they can't leave right now because Sadie has overextended her powers. 2 portals was too many, honestly. And also, they can't use the Washington Monument itself because, like, opening the gate to it was technically using it, so it's overheated. I love that that's part of the lore. So they're like, we're just gonna chill out for a little bit, and then we'll figure out how to get to Arizona tomorrow.
Yeah, and no one else can create portals, just Sadie. So
yeah, apparently that's not in Carter's skill set.
Well, we've already figured out the gods that, you know, they have in them. So now we can talk about that. What do you think Horace's skill set is?
I mean, honestly, I'm getting more from the book even than I'm like remembering his lore, but like they keep referring to him as like a warrior, you know? Carter's gonna have like offensive powers.
Yeah, he's gonna be very offensive.
God damn it. Yeah.
And we've learned about Isis today, so like Sadie's gonna have all like the weird, you know, wizard shit.
Her thing is being magical, so yeah.
She's literally a magical girl.
God, okay. Yeah, Sadie is doing every major in Wizard College at this point, as far as I can tell.
Good job, Sadie. Yeah, so later they have to find a way to get to Arizona. They did not use your idea. So sad. But we won't be able to portal because it'll be the demon days, we can't portal and all that.
Oh, I had literally forgotten that was a thing. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah. So that sucks. And then we try to read the spell book.
Yeah, Best and Carter, while Sadie was passed out for a couple hours, were like, you know, we can't do it, Doughboy can't do it. So they're like, maybe Sadie's magic will be able to do it.
You would think.
You would think.
She's got the goddess of magic and wisdom inside of her, but no.
Literally the language woman. And yet.
I mean, there's only one who's, like, smarter than Isis, and that is the guy who invented the book. So.
Right. Sadie asks if Isis could give her a little help with this whole book reading thing, and Isis is not paying any attention. She hasn't said anything since she helped her open the portal. So maybe she's taking a nap, maybe she's upset. No one knows. Who knows with gods?
Yeah. Well, we don't know what to do with the book at this point in time, and we're stuck in DC, and we're gonna eat some food. We need to replenish our mana, our magical spell slots, and what have you.
Yeah, they need a long rest. Sadie needs a long rest to get back her second level spell slots that let her cast Portal. So jot that down.
Oh, we're gonna have so much fun eventually making this into an RPG.
Seems like casting fire is like a cantrip, but Portal's like a big one.
Alright, so at first, Bass can make food out of thin air. Love that for her. But first she's just like, she makes Frisky cans and some milk, and they're like,
cats can't digest lactose, so don't give them too much milk. It's a whole thing.
Then why'd she make 2
Cartoons
jugs
lied
of
to you. She can't have that. Take it away from her.
So wait, cats are lactose intolerant?
Yeah. It's not actually good for them.
So what if you give them lactose, like, free milk?
Lactate. Or, I actually don't know. It's probably fine if you give them lactose free. I don't know.
Can you give cats lactose? Whatever. Okay, let me ask Google.
It might not even be lactose intolerance. It might be like some other kind of thing.
Generally safer for cats than milk with lactose. It's not recommended to give your cat milk anyway. So it is safe. It's just okay. So almond milk and soy milk are not good for your cat.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
Makes sense.
Yeah. It's a plant product.
Interesting. I've been learning so much about what cats can and cannot eat by having Orzo live with me. I'm just like, okay, well, I know, like, sweets and chocolate and all of that. I know that one. That's what I knew. Honestly, right. I was like, I don't know what else animals can and cannot have. I had grapes out at one point, and I'm just like, is this not safe to have out?
Defo not.
And it's like, it's not safe, apparently.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
What surprises me is the stuff that they can eat, because they're obligate carnivores. But pumpkin puree, cats love a little pumpkin as a tasty little treat, and it's good for their digestion because it gets some fiber in there.
Oh, this boy used to love whipped cream. Did you know that?
Oh yeah. They love creams.
He stopped liking it. We've been offering it to him lately. He doesn't like it. Weirdo.
Fickle creatures.
Can't give you any treats anymore, apparently. So we need people food to feed these children. Yeah. They cannot eat Friskies. So instead we get grilled cheese and crisps, as Sadie calls them.
Of course.
And a 6-pack of Coke. I love that for them.
Wait, are crisps fries or chips?
Those are chips. Because fries are chips.
Yeah, fries are chips, so crisps are chips. Wait. Yeah. You know what we mean.
Because fish and chips is just fish with fries.
Yeah.
So they call chips.
I know what I mean. Yeah. I just and I thought that crisps were chips, but then I got worried for a second. Yeah.
I want to know what people had to do when they were localizing this book. Like, the fact that Rick went out of his way every so often to put some Britishisms in there, which I've heard some British people reading this book, and they're like, why does Sadie call everyone a bloke?
Oh no.
And other stuff like that. But it's like, the fact that Rick did all of that, what does that mean for localization? That's my bigger question.
like, you would just leave it, right? Because it's supposed to be reminiscent of, like, a different culture, but I don't know, man.
I have these questions. I don't know if this is a question for, like, editors or, like, other editors from other countries specifically. I have so many questions about how you do that stuff. And also where you draw the line.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, again, they need some tomato soup. Those are both incredibly dippable things to put in tomato soup, is all I'm saying.
So I don't like tomatoes.
Oh.
But I love grilled cheese.
Mm-hmm.
And I love chips.
Mm.
So this is a perfectly adequate dinner to me.
I
would
was
eat
just
this right
about to
now.
say, though, there's no fruit or veg. No nutrients.
This is a Charlie dinner, okay?
You need more nutrients.
True. But this is still a Charlie dinner.
I know.
I love me some cheese and bread and just variations of cheese and bread.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And Coke is my lifeblood. So it's getting worse. My addiction is getting worse, okay?
That's what happens as you age. You drink more caffeinated bevs.
Is it for the caffeine or is it for the sugar? I don't know.
Sometimes when you're like, I need something, sometimes for me it's like carbonation.
Yeah, that's true. I also just love the carbonation. Not just the carbs, but the carbonation specifically. the bubbles. I need the bubbles.
Like, the bubbles in my mouth like wake me up somehow. I don't know. Maybe that's psychosomatic, but
I understand.
It's like a texture thing. Yeah.
And I have friends who are just like, I don't like soda, I don't like the bubbles. And I'm like,
right.
I don't
That's how Andy is. Andy lets sodas go flat on purpose.
I don't know how you live. Oh. And I drank some Coke before bed last night, and I was just like, what? And I'm like, okay, you have ADHD too. So, and I know I've told you about the caffeine and how it helps me sleep and all of that. And she's just like, but the sugar. And I'm like, I don't like Diet Coke. I know you're obsessed with it, but I don't like Diet Coke.
It tastes so bad. I hate artificial sweeteners. They're so bad.
I like sugar.
Exactly. It's good.
Robert, if you're listening, I like sugar. Let me drink some sugar. And with that rant out of the way,
we needed to get off topic a little bit.
We've been so focused. It's really hard. All right,
I actually can't believe we've been recording for 50 minutes. It feels like it's been like really short.
I mean, I don't know, man. I can't explain.
Okay, yes, continue.
Sadie eats 3 sandwiches and drinks 2 Cokes. I feel like that's important, bro.
Okay, it's bedtime. It's past 6 p.m. She never got breakfast. Sadie has not eaten all day.
Fuck you. No, she ate the fruit bat.
Oh.
That was her breakfast.
I completely forgot. You're right.
What is that going to be like when it goes the other end?
No, she didn't like
be bad for her system.
It's just meats. It's meats. It's
I'm
protein.
I'm just wondering how that digests in her system, and if here we go. Here's a good off-topic situation for you. So, when you are a shapeshifter, and you are eating foods that are good for whatever it is you're shapeshifted into, and then you shapeshift back, how does that affect your body? Like...
food's just food. It's nutrients and calories. I don't know, it's probably fine. If it's inside of you, it's part of your own mass at that point. I'm not too worried about it.
I'm just thinking, like, if you haven't digested it yet.
Yeah, if it's in there, and it's
if the fruit bat is in her stomach right now, and that has to be digested, and then for some reason her body, like, gets something from that, I don't know.
I mean...
I actually have no idea.
Bats do, like, carry disease and stuff, but there's no reason that a human couldn't eat a bat otherwise. Like, it's not like that's not gonna have nutrients
Can
that
a
humans can
human
digest.
eat a fruit
Why not?
bat?
Of course they can.
The bat needs to be gutted prior to cooking as it eats only fruits. Okay.
But yeah,
That's all it
generally
says.
eating bats is not recommended because they are like a huge
Yeah,
disease vector.
that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, like, if there's, like, some kind of disease or something that it gives you, or, like I said, if somehow you're eating a food that, like, when you are shifted versus when you're not shifted is, like, toxic to one or the other.
I
That's
mean,
what my brain is
what
going
if
to
you
now.
ate a grape and then you shapeshifted into a dog? You know what? Actually,
That's what I'm saying! It doesn't work well with the fruit bat thing, but
it's probably fine.
this is what I'm going to be thinking about for the rest of the day.
Sorry, I'm thinking about the Animorphs, and if you, like, had a bowl of grapes and then you turned into a dog and you fucking died, that would be so
Did they think
horrible.
about that shit in Animorphs? Did they?
Oh my god. Okay, we have to move on.
I want our listeners to tell me their thoughts on this. Alright, so we're about to get to plot shit. We need to talk about the plot shit. It's about to happen. Okay. But also very important, Bast starts licking her hand like she's about to have a cat bath, and Sadie's like, please don't. That's disturbing. Imagine if this grown woman started twisting her body in certain ways and licking like she was a cat.
How flexible is Bast in her humanoid form?
One, she's a goddess, so all bets are off.
Yeah. Yeah,
Two,
I fit.
just look at the descriptions of her.
Yeah,
She's flexible.
she could do it.
She might not be Elastigirl, but she's super flexible, okay? Yeah. So now thinking about the physics of that, we can apparently feel the magical energy in the monument itself, which is very cool. It's like the building is just like humming, and Sadie can feel it.
Yeah.
And that's where we get, like,
maybe sleeping here will be good for her. Like, get a little charge. I don't know.
maybe. And that's why we get into the talk about like the buildings and like the what they represent and all of that.
This is basically unrelated. You know those little pendants that they make out of like gemstones that have that very specific shape. They're normally not four-sided the way that obelisks are, but that when we talk about obelisks, it always makes me think of those. The
like the little crystal things. Like,
yeah,
I know what you mean. Took me a
uh
second to picture it. You know, you can buy them at any old store that sells, you know, your little bits and bobs for witchcraft and gems.
yeah, I'm having more trouble finding them than I thought I would, but I did find
The
a
Tumblr girlies
few
love that shit. Like,
right. And it feels like you always see them cut into like that very specific shape. I think it's probably six-sided, but the point pendants that have it always makes me think of that as like that's like obelisks are like the opposite of those. And that they direct and charge magic for the same reasons. That's nothing, but that's like my headcanon for how magic works.
No, I see what you mean. I like that.
Thank
Listen,
you.
symbols have power and all of that. I
I
like it. But talking about the different like buildings is where Sadie turns the conversation to like how Bast was trapped in the needle, but Bast wasn't necessarily trapped in Cleopatra's needle. That's just the door that was used to free
Right.
her.
Same way that their dad used the Rosetta Stone as like a junction of power to be able to get to the gods.
Yeah, exactly.
But apparently you could trap something in an obelisk if you felt like it. That's just not what happened here.
Yeah. You probably could. But Sadie starts to think about like her dad and like his weird promise of like he'll put things right. Like, what does that have to do with Bast and freeing her and all of that?
Right. Bast abandoned her post. So, what she says is that she was locked with a creature of chaos, and that this is like a thing that magicians do, is set two forces against each other so that they battle endlessly and neither can try to escape. But Bast is out, and whatever creature it was is still trapped. And that's like a whole thing. But she's clear, like, she gives us a lot of information there, but nothing satisfying, and she's clearly hiding something. It's
Yeah, Bast isn't even totally sure that the creature is like still there, but
well,
also
no, she says my enemy couldn't have escaped because the gate was sealed by their mother's final act.
I mean, it's the fact that she takes too long, and like she,
Yeah,
breathes
yeah.
heavily when she does it, but the creature could think of ways to escape now that Bast isn't there to distract it. So, we don't know.
As the weird magician said, she has abandoned her post, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, Carter's like, wow, she's hiding something. Sadie's like, work that out yourself, did you?
And Carter looks a little sad about it, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, you're just a little guy.
Yeah. So, they're like, okay, our job is to rescue Dad, but do you think he wanted to bring their mom back? Is that what his real goal was, actually? Well, when you think about it, Sadie tells Carter about her talk with Iskandar and how she found some stuff about their mom. She was a diviner, she could see the future, and maybe that's why they started releasing gods.
Right. We're trying to figure out what mom and dad were trying to do, why they've released Bast. It's like this whole thing. Not really enough information yet, without looking into some lore, I'm sure.
The fact that they're like, was freeing Bast really that important, like, to die for?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, yes.
She's my special perfect girl.
She's my wonderful cat lady. Why wouldn't I die to free her? Come on.
I was watching someone on YouTube play Slay the Princess recently. This is not relevant. This is a story for you, specifically. But he was like, alright, we're gonna go in that cabin and we're gonna kill that princess. We're gonna get her this time. And then he, like, walked into the cabin and she was like, oh, who's that? And he was like, if that princess is a cat girl, we're cooked. Like, he was like, I can't stab a cat girl. Are you kidding me? And it was the funniest thing I'd ever, like, he just stopped and was like, if it's a cat girl, we're cooked.
The amount of times that I talked about furries, like, yesterday alone, was too many times.
Yeah.
But also, no, wait, it wasn't just yesterday, it was also just this week, I think. I think I had to remind some people in my D&D group, yes, all the people that you see that go to Disney and wear the ears, by definition, dictionary definition, are furries.
Yeah. Animal features on a human. Yeah.
I just like bringing that up. At any point in time, just to make people uncomfortable.
Everybody needs to chill out about furries, honestly.
That's why I do it. I'm just like, chill the fuck out. That's technically what a furry is. That small child wearing ears. Are you gonna tell that child that child is wrong? For wanting to be Minnie Mouse?
We support you, furries, honestly.
Exactly.
You know who else is furries? Every Egyptian god. Okay, continue.
Literally.
I think we've already said that before, but it bears repeating.
It's the furry religion. We're gonna keep getting back to it every time. Okay, now he wants to get out because Abby just came home.
You gotta go see your mama. I understand this. When our cats hear the door open, they, like, freak out. They're like, oh my god, who is that? And they, like, have to run away. Okay. So they're trying to sort through this, and they're trying to figure out why their parents didn't talk to them, like Dad. Why didn't he, like, tell them what they were doing or about magic?
Children. The problem is that you're children, And, like, some of these things are hard to tell a child and explain to
Okay,
them.
but I mean, you might wish that your parents had told you that gods were real, maybe.
The
Like,
gods were
mentioned
real?
that at any point.
Like the Egyptian gods?
The ones you were told about, didn't pay attention to. Yeah.
Yeah, those ones. Yeah, I mean, maybe Dad could have told Carter, especially because they were on the run together for all those
Uh-huh.
years,
You
and
know,
he's
it
the
might have
older
been
one.
useful information to have at any point in his entire childhood.
And, like, I don't know how you would tell Sadie that with her being raised in, like, a different household and them only seeing each other once a year.
I mean,
So,
she wouldn't have believed you, but it still might have been nice.
it could have also separated them even more, though. It could have made them even more estranged
Hmm.
by having them, I don't know, this weird, like, oh, my dad's a kook, like, crazy dude.
Okay, I don't know. Keeping information from your children, I think, is bad in general.
No,
Like,
I understand. I'm just like, who's
I
to
mean,
say
he
what their
can do
relationship
literal
is?
magic. He could have, like, so one, if you were raised with the understanding you wouldn't question it in the first place, like, you might start
Yeah.
to as you get older, but it would be like Santa Claus. You would just accept it if your parents told you. So,
Like, so the real question is, did they tell them, like, in the first, like, 6 or 8 years of their lives, however long, did they do any magic around them? Did they know anything? Or were
to me,
they
it
shielded from
seems
that?
like probably no, but
It's unclear.
I feel like one of them would have brought that up at some point if they had any memory of it at all, and, like, knowing what they know now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh well. More weird things going on in their family.
Yeah. Anyways, so what's good here is when Carter's like, Maybe dad didn't tell us anything to protect us, like how we were raised apart so we wouldn't trigger each other's magic." Sadie says, "Bloody awful reason to keep us apart," and like all muttering and dejectedly, and and Carter like looks at her and she's like, "Oh, I just mean they should have told us what was going on. I don't want to hang out with you, Baka." Like,
Like, yeah, like,
anyways, they're siblings and they love each other. That's all I wanted to say.
yeah. Listen, they have this bonding moment of, like, they're also talking about the gods that are in their heads, like, are they being helpful? Are you scared? Yeah. Yeah. I'm terrified. Um and we don't talk about fruit bats anymore in this family. Uh
It's it's such a good conversation. I love it. I love them. I just they're so estranged, and but they do have like a little bit of like sibling rivalry, and so that's interesting too. But like them actually taking the time to like talk about things they have in common and bond for a minute and like be honest about how much this sucks recently
yeah.
and just like commiserating each other. I love to see it.
It's very good. They love each other.
I love siblings.
Me too, as someone who's never had siblings.
They're just okay in real life. That's a lie, Charlotte. I love you so much. She's not gonna listen to this,
Wow.
but
Wow. Can't believe. Do we gotta do plugs? You wanna do some plugs?
oh, okay. Yeah, we could do that.
We talked about the chapter. I think that's what we're supposed to do
Yeah,
next.
we did it.
You just got distracted.
Okay.
Alright. Well, guess what? Abby's been showing me a new media recently.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's what girlfriends are for, apparently.
That really is what girlfriends are for, okay? I'm still trying to show her medias. We haven't gotten through Steven Universe yet, but
Mm-mm.
now she's making me watch all of Gilmore Girls.
Oh, good. How is that?
I mean, it's a show that I've definitely seen bits of in existence before because just the general people, the people know about this. Things exist and
Mm-hmm.
they just come on. I'm fairly certain my mother watched some of it at some point.
I
It
know that
seems
my
like one of
mom
those
and my
things.
sister like started it, but when they did start it, I was like, I've heard this name of this show for like my entire life. I have no idea what it's about. Like I actually
Yeah.
haven't picked anything up culturally.
I think the only thing that I picked up culturally was like that the grandparents were rich and that it was about a mother and a daughter. I think that's all I got about it because I definitely seen parts of it on TV. I want to say maybe both my parents watched it, but like not religiously enough to like make me watch it or anything or get me into it. But
See, no one in my family ever watched it. So I did like you're like the grandparents are rich and I'm like there are grandparents, there's people with money. I don't know.
okay, do you want me to tell you
I think I was getting it
the
confused
general
with
premise then?
what's the fucking show that Deadpool likes with the old ladies that Betty White is
Oh,
in?
Golden Girls?
Yeah, I got Gilmore Girls
You're getting
confused with
confused
Golden
with
Girls.
Golden Girls?
I have no idea what Gilmore Girls is about.
I don't even know what Golden Girls is about necessarily.
I've seen
Other than just,
several
like,
episodes
four
of
old
Golden Girls, so I
ladies-
know what Golden Girls
Four
is
old
about.
ladies that apparently map very perfectly to a 4-class party in D&D. Like,
Nice.
have you not seen that post? There's like a post, and it's one of the people from D&D who posted it
Oh, that
or
slabs.
something. It was like, yeah, this is what they map onto, and it's like, wow, that's
Yeah,
pretty telling,
Golden Girls
honestly.
is about some girls in their golden days, their golden age, you know?
Yeah,
that's
those are
what
old
you call it.
ladies.
The thing is that they're a little foxy with it. That's why people like
Yeah.
that show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so now you tell me yours.
Okay, is that your plug?
No.
Okay, so Gilmore Girls.
Yeah,
Gilmore is
please.
actually their last name, which I found out. And that's why it's called that. It's about a single mom and her teenage daughter. She had a kid when she was like 16, and so her kid is like exactly half her age at this point when the show starts.
Mm.
They're in like, tiny small town in Connecticut. So yeah, you can tell that like parents are rich. They're from Connecticut, obviously. It's very New England, I'm not gonna lie. Like, the vibes, so fucking New England. The daughter is, like, really smart, and she wants to go to Harvard someday. And so, mom doesn't have enough money when her daughter gets into, like, this bougie school, and asks for some help from her bougie parents, who she has no contact with.
Oh.
Basically almost no contact with.
Yeah.
Like, they're estranged. Because, like, you become a pregnant teenager in, like, a rich-ass household, and there's the expectations of, like, oh yeah, you gotta marry the guy, obviously, or, like, do all these things, like, it's your basic-ass, like, controlling mom scenario, and all of that shit, and it's generational trauma, is the true villain, as it always is. This is just Encanto. But yeah, so the deal is that like they will give her the money to help send her daughter to school, but they have to have dinner once a week. And that's where the show starts. Like
Okay.
that's like episode 1, basic premise, and then we go from there. Like, you gotta navigate the school with like the bougie, like rich kids who are also smart. You gotta like deal with like all this stuff happening in like the small town. And also, like, getting to know the grandparents. Like, she's finally getting to, like, know her grandparents. The grandparents are finally getting to know her, and also their own daughter, honestly.
Yeah.
Who they, didn't really know to begin with. So, I'm only, 10 episodes in, I think? But I have a list of episodes that Abby has to watch with me. But otherwise, I can watch it by myself. Because I'm good at watching things quicker, usually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is very good. I am enjoying it.
Excellent. It sounds vaguely stressful. Is it a stressful watch?
I would say the last time I recommended a show that Abby made me watch, it was more stressful. Like Outer Banks was stressful for me to watch because I'm like, oh my god, the anxiety these children are giving me is so much anxiety because you're making such terrible decisions. You're all going to get yourselves hurt.
Oh.
In this, it's more, bringing up traumatic events.
See, I'm just stressed out by social situations. So, like, you talking about, like, having to deal with rich kids at school, and I'm like, oh my god, that's my nightmare.
Nah, it's definitely more like the family dynamic that, like,
Okay.
Reminds me of traumatic moments.
I see.
It's very fun. But yeah, no, every so often I do want to punch a bitch when I watch these shows. I think I have some anger issues that I need to get out. Do you have a plug? So I can stop talking?
Yeah. Okay. I got Zatana Bring Down the House from the comic store. And I read them.
Oh, Zatana's she's the magician one, right?
Yes, she is. She's very cute. So, Bring Down the House is a short 5-issue run on the Black Label. And I like the art style in it a lot. It's some of the characters are kind of weird. There's like a bunny girl in it.
Of course
in like these big old stockings. She's very silly. But so it's an alternate universe in which Zatana's father, Zatara, disappeared when she was a child after like this mysterious event, and then Zatana like grows up without any magical powers. And so she's just doing like stage magic at a little venue. And then like wild shit starts showing up. And I had a lot of fun with it. And she's getting a little like deep dive into the character is a lot of fun too. So yeah. That's all.
Good shit. Still into that DC stuff? Is that
Sorry for talking about Batman. I'm trying to like read more comics. It's not easy for me, okay? I have like reading any books. I've been having so much trouble, and yet for some reason I can just read so much fan fiction every day. It's a real conundrum.
Yeah, I need to get back to reading more things. I've still have not finished the same book that I've technically been reading for like a year. It's a problem. It's a problem.
I have like a bunch of books that I've started and just not gotten anywhere in, and it's a problem. I used to be so good as a child. I'd get 3 books from the library and I'd be done with them by the next day.
Well, I know my problem. The problem is that video games have become a thing. I don't know what your problem is.
I destroyed my own attention span, and also I have depression. Okay.
No, I relate.
But you know what we're good at? It's reading 1 chapter of Percy Jackson per week. This isn't even Percy Jackson.
Thank you, Rick, for keeping us in reading. Keeping us reading. Yeah. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, this is it's good for us.
That just reminded me. I had a dream about Rick the other night.
What?
It was very weird. I just like woke up and I was like, what the fuck? I think I was like at Disney and like there was a new Percy Jackson something going on, and then somehow I ran into Rick himself and I was like, what is happening here?
Wow.
I was in a dream and I was just like, nope, this is too weird.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I guess we can stay here.
How about what if you released us from this mortal coil?
No, we can just chill. We can just, hang out, I guess. But actually, you need to get the fuck out of my house. Like, I mean, you're sleeping right now, but like later you're gonna have to get the fuck out of here because like some shit's gonna go down for some reason. It always does. You're gonna have to be on the run as usual. But there's no portals during the demon days, so what are you gonna do? How are you gonna get out of this?
We're squatting in an obelisk.
Where do
they sleep?
In the Washington Monument. They're sleeping on the ground. I don't know.
It does not sound very comfy. Okay, bye guys.
Bye! Of the Eldest Gods would like to thank its $10 and up patrons. This means you're either in the Savior of Olympus tier or the God Complex tier on our Patreon, patreon.com/oftheeldestgods. Thank you all so much for your support, especially Matt, our God Complex patron.
You can follow this podcast's socials at Of the Eldest Gods Pod on Instagram and Tumblr. You can send us a message through the Duat to oftheeldestgodspod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us financially, join us at patreon.com/oftheeldestgods. By becoming a patron, you can join the Deus Ex Media Discord server, where you'll be able to chat with us and other listeners about the Riordanverse or whatever else. Our $5 patron tier also gets you access to Against All Odds, our monthly bonus show. There, we'll talk about a wide variety of topics, which usually have something to do with mythology, no promises. You can check out our merch store on Redbubble to find custom designs made by Charlie. Or if you cannot or do not want to support us financially, we'd really appreciate a rating, a review, or letting your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. That really helps. If you want to hear more from me, Raye, check out Barbie Movie Slap, a podcast where my co-host Ted and I discuss Barbie's cinematic universe. That podcast's Twitter is at Barbie Slaps.
You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws. You can also hear my voice on 2 other podcasts. I co-host another podcast on the network with the meme maker Robert called The Bits, where we talk about the Cartoon Network show Steven Universe. I also co-host a non-network podcast with my buddy Ethan called Mysteries in the Machine, where we talk about all things Scooby-Doo. Our music was created and produced by Isabel Strauss-Riggs. You can find Isabel at Kane I, that's I is in the body part, on Instagram and Twitter. She also currently makes video essays on the YouTube channel Kane I. Feel free to message her about making music for your project or editing your podcast.
Of the Eldest Gods is based on a series by Rick Riordan. Right now we are discussing The Kane Chronicles. Remember to follow us on your favorite podcatcher and meet us back here every Thursday.
Have you ever gotten so distracted in Stardew Valley that you forgot to sleep? Have you realised that you have a whole room in your house full of dolls? Or have you even bored your friends to sleep talking about your passion? Well then, Content Capable is the podcast for you. Join me, Sam, as I chat to people passionate about what they do, asking questions about how they fell in love with their passion, what they do, and how it interacts with their day-to-day lives. Catch the podcast every Monday as I find out what makes someone tick, all while gleaning interesting and insightful life lessons along the way. There'll be laughs, a bit of crying, a whole lot of conversations, and we learn just a little bit more about the world around us.
The sooner we start this, the sooner we finish, and then I can get to go play more Baldur's Gate, because I finally
Okay,
got
good for you. I'm still thinking about Batman every day of my life, so... I'm actually not thinking about Batman that much. I mean, he's fine.
Oh?
I was watching...
Batman?
Batman is fine.
The Bat Family?
Everything else that's going on in Gotham is more interesting than him. That's not true. Yeah. Batman's very interesting, but I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos. Okay, we can start the podcast soon. I'm just thinking, you know how they won't make any Batman live action TV shows? They keep making like Gotham, or where like Bruce Wayne is like a child, or I don't know if they ever made it, but they sure announced like a Pennyworth like TV show.
Oh, they made it. I think that exists currently.
Yeah. And Batwoman, you know, I'm pretty sure it's because no one knows who exactly owns the right to Batman on television.
Listen. The most important Batman on television is the Batman that crosses over with Scooby-Doo. Okay?
Uh-huh. It's so true.
That's all that matters. Yeah, let's podcast.
Deus Ex Media.